Yeah, I like him. But there is no evidence that Israel actually killed Charlie Kirk. And if Candace...
And I think this is a very important point that Andrew really harps on in this debate, is like, okay, what is the actual positive evidence? Not just, well, it would kind of line up with what he was... that's just all circumstantial bullshit. Like, we're not looking for that. Yeah. That's why he's saying positive evidence. And Candace didn't like that very much in the debate. There's a reason why he's saying that.
The entire grift depends upon, I'm just asking questions. And it's like, okay, but you're not just asking questions. It's like, if you do curated YouTube videos, not live streams, not like long shows, but you like make a video, then you can kind of like do that. But when you start doing live streams and like just tweeting from the toilet, like you're going to make a ton of absurd positive claims. And so you can't, it's very obvious that part of the problem with this, I was like, did you see Nick Fuentes? He talked about it and I was like, oh, that was weirdly rational of him. He said, I'll never forgive Candace Owens, the bitch. I think he called her a bitch like 30 times or something. But he was basically saying like, I'll never forgive her because she stole the moment where we could have like stopped Antifa, stopped radical leftism, and really like shamed them and used him as a martyr. And instead the entire conversation is whether or not Israel did it.
Yeah. I think I saw like that. And that's the thing with Nick Fuentes. I think he is a smart guy.
He's very smart.
He gets a lot of things right in the abstract, right? He's wrong about like his philosophy of like Groyperism and so on and so forth. I think he's also wrong about how you change society. Like his whole thing with Groypers should hide their power level. I think that's nonsense. But he does get a lot of things right in like these types of situations. Like he's not just an idiot.
Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, like,
I think we're giving Candace too much credit, like in that she like, because people are already suspicious of Israel beforehand. So did she really like have that big of an impact when it came to Israel?
I mean, she's massive.
But being ostensibly on the right gives her a lot of power in terms of the cultural impact, because she's creating division amongst the right and the right's ability to attack that on the left. And then also, I think we're also forgetting just how big she is. Like Andrew Wilson's a fairly prominent commentator. He has 30,000 people watching his live stream during this.
She had like hundreds of thousands.
To 500,000.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's like she had an insane.
She's bigger than Fox News.
More reach than people realize.
Mm-hmm. Damn. Yeah. Maybe I just don't know how big that platform.
Show it to me. I'm open to suggestions.
There's a lot of retards watching.
There hasn't been any.
There is also something that I want to say, which is about the fact that asking questions is not a good enough thing, because you can ask bad questions. Like if I ask Lulu, like, when did you start beating your dog? You know?
Yeah.
Like when did you start doing that? Like that is a question which
triggering me as a millennial. The Indian accent about beating a dog. You come to my house and you kick my dog.
Like there's like there's an implicit.
You can't talk about beating a dog with an Indian accent to a millennial.
There are implicit premises behind each question. Like she clearly has already formed a conclusion in her mind, and she's just using it as like a shield. Like everybody can see that if you're not like 20 IQ.
Or is she just grifting, bro? Like, does she even really genuinely believe the French and Israelis killed Charlie Kirk?
That's the thing is, I think, Jake Shields, I think he actually believes all the dumb shit he says. Like, I think he's that dumb because, he got punched in the head so much times, it made him a retarded person. But Candace Owens, maybe she is grifting, but like, this would be a good grift. Like, is she smart enough to pull off that grift?
I think, well, I just recently took a 6-month break, right? And one of the things I was telling my audience about is, the way this game works, you can't take these breaks and maintain an audience and maintain clout and maintain, it requires you constantly being plugged in if you really want to grow and be somebody. And I think, but one of the things that I love about taking a large break, because I've done it a couple times over the past 6 years, is the perspective and the understanding just how much you are subconsciously subconsciously manipulated by your own desires to please your audience. Like it's so powerful. And for those that are less philosophically grounded, and for those that are not quite as intelligent, I think that pull is even more so. Like somebody like you, Liquid Zulu, like you have a very strong grasp on your own philosophy, and you're fairly high IQ. And if we were to take away, if you were a pragmatist and we lowered your IQ by 20 points, how much easier do you think it would be to start to believe your own bullshit as you're just kind of chasing the current thing?
Yeah, that is true. Like, because if you are higher IQ, it almost becomes like a you know, you're disgusted by yourself. You're like, Jesus Christ, it's like a slot. It's a chore to get through saying those things that you know to be false. Whereas if you're low IQ, then you genuinely do believe things based on consensus, and you're getting a hell of a consensus behind each thing you're saying. If you be like Gail Wynand, if you follow the audience.
And you're not grounded in reality because she doesn't have a philosophy that's grounded in reality. So she doesn't have a philosophy that screams to her in a subconscious voice that what she's doing or what she's saying doesn't match reality. Because
I mean,
as you said, through consensus.
Like, she makes so much money being entirely audience captured by her own little like conspiracy circle. So, or like, it's a very big circle,
the thing is, I
still.
think
You
that
can't blame her. It sounds like a Lindsay Clancy supporter over here, huh?
the thing is,
no.
I think that inevitably will come back to bite her in the ass at some point.
Oh, I hope so, and I think it will too.
Like I think if
she's made millions.
Well, she may have made millions and then become like severely depressed because she figures out that, well, I actually don't have any true audience.
She's gonna be so depressed on her fucking wave runner on her fucking on her lake residence.
Well, like I think the main point is that reality is the ultimate avenger. It's gonna come back and slap you in the arse if you're trying to gain values by cheating it. Like there's no way around that.
I agree.
Like she can't ever be fully fulfilled in this line of work.
Exactly. Like because the fact that she got all of this money through nefarious means will actually debase the enjoyment of money, right? Like what good is material wealth if you always know at the back of your head knowingly that it is not yours truly, like you did, in the sense you didn't earn this, and that is going to be a problem. I
hope it isn't coke.
It sounds like a very
PBD is also on this bandwagon.
I don't know, man. I think bitches are very, very happy with making money that they didn't earn.
PBD is kind of the same way.
But you look at the way people act. Then, like, they drink themselves to sleep. They have all these addictions. They have all these problems. That's not a happy person, right? Like, those are coping mechanisms. Like, all of them are depressed.
Yeah, it's like the saying. The saying is money doesn't buy happiness. Not quite true. It is ill-gotten gains don't buy happiness. True money buys happiness. Money that you actually earn.
I disagree with all of you. I think you're too stuck in your own frame of reference from individuals that have a sense of shame, that live in a world where they're held accountable, and where you have.
Like, do you think she's just like a narcissist or like a sociopath or something?
Yeah, dude. I think she's already unhappy and already a poisoned soul, and that's why she engages.
Exactly,
in this.
She's already unhappy.
Then, like at the end of right, but that like.
That's reality biting her in the ass.
I think there's some, to a certain degree, I think you're right, but I also think you're underestimating that you're going into a little bit of a cope, that this bitch is going to be as happy as she ever could be in that domain.
I think she could be better off if she wasn't like this. Like, that's the whole premise of the objectivist ethics. Right? She could be better off.
Do you think?
I can give you
Hegel died happy?
Example, right?
Oh, Hegel definitely didn't die happy. No, absolutely not. Like, there's no way.
Yeah, exactly. And I can give you like two concrete examples. One would be the death of Stalin, right? Like, Stalin was like, he had everything, literally. Like, he had the largest country on the world in his command, right? Like, how did he die? He died. He was fearful of his best friend because he thought his best friend was always trying to like run tricks on him and trying to get him killed so he can take over the country. He had nobody he loved. He had nobody who he cared for. He had a fucked up relationship with his entire family and all his friends. Everybody was either hated him or wanted his seat, so was trying to please him to get his seat. And all the doctors were so afraid of him that when the doctors heard that, like, people heard him like trying to scream out for get the doctors or something, like, I think something along those lines, but nobody did that.
Into the doctor's plot.
Yeah, but nobody did that, right? Like, in the sense that nobody went to be that guy who wants to rescue Stalin, like, because what if he's angry with you?
Yeah.
Has anyone heard anything about her personal life though? Like, when the cameras go off,
completely fucked up.
Yeah, I can imagine. So. Now I think about it.
Yeah,
we do have a super chat from Griffin1 for $2 asking, is this one of the premises of the Fountainhead? Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, it is.
This is the character of Gail Wynand.
The other thing is, like, what could Candace do here? she certainly has virtues. The virtues are she's very convincing. She's like, you don't build an audience without being convincing. She's very smart. She's a good businesswoman. But what she should do is like take a month or take a year off, read the right books, go to the right psychologist, get your head fixed up, and then come back and build an audience the right way. And then she would be building wealth and building towards something which is a better world.
Here's a question for you, man. What would she have to do? Like, let's say she does that. She comes out and she says she's an objectivist. What would she have to do in your eyes for you to like trust her as an objectivist influencer? I think it would be a tall order, rather.
Yeah.
You better never stop. That's it.
Completely repudiate what you believed earlier and why. I need to hear the whys, and then I'll need to like watch as you progress. So like I'll need I'll need at least if like you have been a bad person for like 10 years, I'll need 5 years of evidence. And there is also like the story about how you got redeemed. So like if she tells me these are the exact psychologists she went through and like I can trust those people perhaps, and these are the books that I read, and I have evidence that she has read those books, and so on and so forth. And of course
it's like
for her to not be reincarnated into a cricket.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be too difficult. But you know, it's like a Leibowitz
on this concept for a while. I'm just going to say this. As a 35, soon to be 36-year-old man, I have become a believer in the one true God, and that is Breathe Right strips. Breathe Right strips are amazing. I didn't want to be a dork and not wear them.
Are they shaped like triangles?
I'm breathing out my nose again, and this is beautiful. And Candace Owens can buy so many Breathe Right strips, and you poor people will never know the pain of not being able to purchase enough Breathe Right strips.
But are they shaped like triangles?
Yeah.
They better be.
I don't understand the triangle meme yet.
False god.
False god.
I have no idea what's going on.
Mary, let's
I just came back, all right, boys.
Let's continue.
Mostly been on Twitter shitting on
There's however tons of evidence that a leftist killed Charlie Kirk. It's just Charlie feared they would. I believe Charlie Kirk.
A guy in Zulu stream said, like, did this Indian just say redeem?
Redeem! Do not redeem!
Redeem star.
Oh god. We can't get dumb this early. We gotta have some intelligent commentary before we get down a dumb rabbit.
The first opening statement.
Seats. No, I didn't have a dream where he came to me and told me.
Liquid Zulu would have to pay his editor like $200,000.
No, he didn't come to me a dream and say, Candace Owens betrayed him. That never happened. In fact, I don't need dreams of any kind because I hold in my possession never before seen messages from Charlie Kirk to his security team on September 9th, 2025.
He's anti-dreaming.
I'm going to share the message with you today, which is the first time this information's ever been publicly revealed. On September 9th, Charlie's security team wrote to him, yes, law enforcement has been fully supportive and agreed to a security plan and posture. Tomorrow's event will be covered by both my team and the campus PD. If additional support is required, patrol units will be available. I have 11 on site. Charlie responded with this, okay, great. Remind them that they are there for one person's security only, because I'm somewhat worried the left is trying to kill me. That was a message sent September 9th. Whatever could he have meant by that? Well,
nuke.
I think he meant exactly what he said, that he was worried the left was going to try to kill him. Now, we'll discuss this more later on in the debate, and maybe I have more never before seen evidence that exposes just how wrong and, in my opinion, idiotic.
In all honesty, like let's give this a benefit of the doubt. Like, let's analyze this. I'm pretty sure this guy, like who I don't remember his name, who actually did it, like
Robinson, right?
Yeah,
Robinson
was part of the left ideologically. I'm pretty sure he's not part of like some organizational movement on his own. So how could Charlie
he's in like
know?
a Antifa Discord or some shit?
Charlie probably received like death threats and got like security consultants all the time, right?
I mean, so fair enough. This is not evidence towards that.
Well, he's responding to Candace Owens saying that Charlie came to her in a dream, and that's why she got convinced. So he's saying, well, I think we should believe Charlie, but not Charlie in a dream. And I think we should believe what Charlie actually said, that he believed that the left was going to kill him.
There's also a lot of talk of text messages and like messages about like him being worried about Israel or something that she's brought up on her show, and he's kind of like showing like, no, the day before he died, he was worried about the left.
Yeah, but you know,
that's why I mentioned as well.
Even if he was like the day before he died, he was worried about the French Israelis. That doesn't mean the French Israelis did it, you know?
Sure. He's not presenting this as positive evidence. He's presenting it as a counter to Candace Owens.
Yeah, like she has implied on her show multiple times before that like these little hints about him being anti-Israel somehow suggest that might be why the Israelis killed him. And he's like, yeah, and except the day before he's saying, right, like she put into the zeitgeist the concept that he's turning on Israel might be why Israel, went after him, and that was their motive. And so there's like multiple reasons why this kind of like it's not evidence to you or me because we're rational beings looking for evidence, and it's not evidence of actually anything. I agree. But she put out into the zeitgeist that like his opinions changing could mean motive, then that could be this, et cetera, et cetera. That being said, I do want to talk about something when it comes to ideology of Zoomers, because I may be a millennial, right? I may be from the outside looking in, but one of the things that I've noticed, especially with millennials and Gen X and boomer cons kind of trying to understand the ideology of left and right, is most people do not understand how much of a chaotic, you call it horseshoe theory if you want, right? But how much of a chaotic mess the blending of socialist ideologies and philosophy has nuked Gen Z, and how it's not really clear whether or not some of these radical chaos beings, if you will, are on the left or the right. Right? We have O7A, we have O99, we have these satanic organizations that target people in Discord and through online servers to rape children and commit mass shootings. Many of the recent mass shootings have been by satanic, white supremacist, socialist, like crazy hodgepodge of ideologies. And so this idea of like, there's this weird obsession of like, was this person that did this mass shooting, a leftist? Oh, well, look, there was this on their magazine and that proves they're a leftist or a rightoid. I think what's more interesting and more terrifying is as we live through Atlas Shrugged, right? As society and its institutions collapse, and as multiculturalism fails and democracy fails, what you have is less leftist or rightist ideology that people are strict adherents towards, and more chaos and emotion and grasping on to disparate ideas that are absolutely contradictory and putting them into a hodgepodge of rage at a system that has failed them, and a lack of philosophy to be able to protect themselves during that time. And this idea of like, oh, Tyler Robinson, he's a leftist. It's like, maybe, sure, whatever. He had socialist ideas. He was, fucking his tranny, not tranny, boyfriend, girlfriend. It's hard to tell what the fuck they were. He wrote left-wing messages on some of the bullets, and then some, but like one of them was like a Helldivers meme, right? Like what we're dealing with is we're dealing with genuine outliers that are fucking psychotic, that have no proper philosophy, that are just grabbing like psyoped, fucked up social media algorithm, society destroying ideas, putting them into a completely incoherent ideology, and then lashing out at the world. And it doesn't matter whether or not they're left wing or right wing. What matters is that we have, apology for borrowing a phrase from Marx, a poverty of philosophy, and a world that is falling apart as the experiment of democracy fails.
Yeah, did you see the Turkey Tom videos going over like the released like Discord logs?
Yeah, I did.
Right.
Yeah,
I didn't see that specific video, but I think I might have seen something.
Oh, he got like the Discord logs like firsthand from somebody who was in the Discord, and like it goes over like just how like psychotic that living situation was. Like I think his like girlfriend, boyfriend, she was like would nest where like the entire living space would just be turned into like a hoarder's paradise, and you weren't allowed to like move anything.
Right.
Like it was clearly like a very poor living situation for a young man.
Yeah, I just think it's imperative that we, with a proper philosophy, stop playing this game of like left right, and that like left right was fine when most people self-identified with those groups for the most part, but like this is a time of instability, and what we should be stressing is less, oh, this person's a leftist or this person's a rightoid, and more, this is another victim of an increasingly unstable society and a lack of proper philosophy.
Yeah, that's true. It is true. We could say, like, we could be, we could be like accurate and say that, okay, this is just there's some sort of a Hegelian, right? Like, because that
right.
The left and the right are united in that, right? But like,
right,
I'm not sure they are. I think They certainly implicitly probably are, but explicitly, as you said, they're just psychos. They're just picking up whatever it is, and what made them psychos was the philosophy.
But that's what happens when you rely on what's called the evidence of the gaps. In other words, they don't have evidence, they seem to just make up evidence. And what did they make up? Well, in my opinion, kind of whatever lined the pockets. And I think it's ghoulish to profit off of the death of a good man. But we came here today to debate, and so let's get to it. The debate topic today is 1, my belief that there's overwhelming evidence that Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk, and 2, Candace's belief that there's overwhelming evidence that Tyler Robinson was a patsy and didn't kill Charlie Kirk. In sum, the audience is going to decide who has more evidence supporting their theory. My theory is that the state is correct that Tyler Robinson is the killer, at least based on evidence so far. Candace's theory that Tyler Robinson is not the killer and he's a patsy set by the feds.
Breaking: Andrew is against undertakers.
What?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's ghoulish to profit off of the death of people, right?
Oh, I see. Okay. That was, was ill-timed. What are you doing?
Okay, all right.
Okay.
How dare morticians exist?
Yeah.
His belief that there's overwhelming evidence that Tyler Robinson was a patsy and didn't kill Charlie Kirk. In sum, the audience is going to decide who has more evidence supporting their theory. My theory is that the state is correct that Tyler Robinson is the killer, at least based on evidence so far. Candace's theory that Tyler Robinson is not the killer and he's a patsy set by the feds. To be clear, this is not a question of reasonable doubt. If it was reasonable doubt, and that's all it was, and that's all Candace was proffering, I wouldn't even be here having the debate with her. It's fair to have doubts, as the trial has yet to occur, and the state hasn't even begun to try to prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt. But Candace makes it more forceful.
Sorry, can someone tell me what a patsy is real quick?
Like somebody who got set up, a scapegoat.
Patsy,
Oh, okay.
yeah. Patsy is someone that also diverts the attention. It originally starts with stealing. So like you would. So mobsters came up with the term, and so basically a patsy is someone that does the distraction. Like I make a great patsy. Like if we want to rob a liquor store and we want to do it like without like shooting somebody, we just want to like steal something off the shelves. I might walk in there and just be a chatty Cathy that can't shut up, and I'm 6'5", so I take up a bunch of attention, and then other people are running off, right? So a patsy is like in this context would be someone that the government set up to fall for the crime and like to divert attention from what's really going on.
Okay, thank you.
Candace was proffering, I wouldn't even be here having the debate with her. It's fair to have doubts, as the trial has yet to occur, and the state hasn't even begun to try to prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt. But Candace makes a more forceful claim. She claims that there's more evidence that Tyler's not guilty of murder and was set up as a patsy than there is for the state's case. And I just think that that's absurd. And she will not be able to demonstrate that in any way. In fact, she has almost no real evidence.
By the way, are you guys getting those speed ups when I speed it up?
No.
Okay, so I'm not going to do that any longer. That's a shame that speeding up doesn't sync it. I'll open an issue on their GitHub about that. That is a problem. Oh well.
And was set up as a patsy than there is for the state's case. And I just think that that's absurd. And she will not be able to demonstrate that in any way. In fact, she has almost no real evidence at all of her theory, whereas my theory is supported by compelling witness testimony, physical evidence, multiple confessions, all of which are independently compelling, but which are even more convincing as each piece of evidence corroborates the others. You'll notice the term overwhelming was included in both theories. This is because Candace demanded I defend my use of that term, which I think is fair, in describing the evidence against Tyler Robinson. She, on the other hand, only wanted to defend her theory as merely viable. That is, until I showed her clips in which she said she believed the evidence of her theory, that Tyler Robinson's a patsy, was supported by overwhelming evidence. Only then did she agree to defend that position. Regardless, we're both defending the claim there's overwhelming evidence on our side, so it's worth defining that term. When I say the evidence against Robinson's overwhelming, all I'm saying is that I mean that as of right now, I find it very convincing. I see almost no evidence at all, only speculation on verified claims and suggest.
What do we think of that definition of overwhelming evidence? I'm not so sure that I find it convincing is a good definition. I would say overwhelming evidence would be, it seems like probably a level below certainty. So it's not quite that it would be arbitrary to assert anything otherwise, but it's definitely approaching certainty, right? It would be irrational to operate upon the opposite assumption, perhaps.
Yeah,
exactly. I would say this is like the epistemological scale, as Bakoff puts it. Like a possibility is something which has some evidence for it, but not a lot. Then there is like higher levels of probability up to the point where you get certainty, where like all the evidence points towards it and there's none against it, right? So overwhelming evidence would be something very, very close
and
to
more
certain
specifically,
also.
that it would be arbitrary to state that there might be evidence against it, because you might have all the evidence pointing towards something, but you know that there's something you haven't checked for yet.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So certain would have you cannot, like, there is no other evidence to check in effect, right?
Yeah, it would be arbitrary to suppose that I might phase through the telephone pole if I drive into it, right?
I could say, right, like just to throw a wrench in here, I think you could also claim that overwhelming evidence, right, from like the definition of like too much to be able to take in, could mean a numerous amount of evidence, right? And so it's like there isn't one or two pieces of evidence, but there's like 100 different pieces of evidence, and it's so much to get through that I'm like kind of convinced of it, just because even if all of these pieces of evidence are circumstantial or not very strong pieces of evidence, it's like there's just a fuck ton of evidence.
So he's overplayed his hand unnecessarily, essentially.
Yeah.
Well, she made him take that proposition. I would not have accepted that proposition. And so this, as he says, so this is kind of like I think he's really stretching the term.
But it is good that he got a mirror on there that she's also got to have overwhelming.
Right, like he is taking on the prompt that she made him take on, and he accepted. I would not have accepted. I would have been, but unfortunately, he said in a tweet at some point that there was overwhelming evidence. So she's making him defend that claim when really he should just say, "Yeah, that was a bad tweet. Like what I really mean is that there's a balance of probabilities, and there's."
But then we don't get this debate, you know. Like I think it works with the balanced propositions where she's also got to defend overwhelming evidence. Because otherwise, I don't think you get the debate. Like she was trying everything to weasel out the debate.
True. Neither of them have overwhelming evidence. Her far more so than him.
Yeah, but I think it's very important to at least get this debate where we can see just how floundery she is. You know, like would you see her, like Fabian? I want you to be really honest with me. If you could get that debate with Candace Owens, and she's been trying to weasel out of it as hard as she did, and you had to defend that proposition, you would accept it. Yeah, you would accept that.
I'd do it, and then I'd probably feel bad about it because it's probably wrong to do it because I wouldn't believe it.
It's not ideal, but it's not necessarily wrong because at least this way the debate happens.
Right? Clarifying in the opening statement that like, well, this is what I mean because this is the prompt that she required me to take.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's kind of weaselly, but also, you know, this is
at least you get in her room.
Anybody to be able to call out her bullshit.
Mm-hmm.